Thanks for joining me for the next round of the Amateur Driving Badly Championship. We have a bit of a strange situation here. This is round 4. We're going to be doing 7 laps around Ahvenisto. And as you can see from the entry list here, I am starting in last place. That is not because I suck that badly at this track. It is because there's a problem with the pit lane AI for this track. So it is a mod track, and when the AI starts from the pit lane, they drive like 20 miles an hour around the whole track. It almost seems like their pit limiter gets stuck on, and so they cannot generate a good qualifying time. And so I just decided to skip practice and qualifying and start from the back of the pack. So I left their AI settings the same, and hopefully we can move up some positions and try to get into the points. So without further ado, let's get started. So of course the start is very important when starting from the back. We have 7 laps. We got to make as many places as possible. So the start is going to be critical to making that happen. So I feel like I got a pretty decent start there, combined with some of the AI getting a really terrible start. Don't kill me. We got to be careful going to turn 1. That guy's getting sideways. Nobody on the inside. We can kind of cut that off a little bit. You got to be careful with the AI, man, especially going into turn 1. They will pit you in a second. And when I say pit, I don't mean send you to pits. I'm talking about, you know, the pit maneuver like you see cops do with criminals, you know, during a high-speed chase or whatnot. They just can't seem to grasp that, you know, if they go a little bit wide, they're going to take you out. Or maybe they just don't care, which is not a nice thing. But turn 1 has this reputation for being just terrible, and there's a good reason for that. The field is never closer together than it is at the start of the race, and everybody is trying to make up positions at turn 1. You're trying to outbrake the guy in front of you, so you come screaming into the corner. But of course he's trying to outbrake the guy in front of him, who's trying to outbrake the guy in front of him. So at some point, the train of stupidity hits a critical mass, and you get somebody ramming somebody taking somebody out, and it's a travesty. And that was bad. I tried to basically dive bomb that guy, and it ended very poorly for me. Guys, all I'm asking, when you're in a multiplayer server, public racing, sim racing system, whatever it happens to be that you're doing, don't race like that. Be smart going into turn 1. If a guy has a bad start, get around him. Don't pull a Verstappen and just plow him off the road. Have some consideration for your fellow driver. I mean, look, this track here we're driving around, Ahvenisto, this place is awesome. This track is fantastic. And if I would have practiced, you know, hundreds and hundreds of laps or whatever it is people do to get fast and for something, for a league race or something, and then turn 1, somebody who's not thinking right takes me out, I mean, how frustrating is that, you know? Guys, if you're faster than the guy ahead of you, you'll be able to pass him, right? You know, if you're faster than him, you should have out-qualified him. So maybe you're not faster than he is. Maybe you can follow behind him for a few laps. See where he might be doing things a little bit differently than you. See where he might be gaining some time on you. That sort of thing. You know. But this track is so awesome. You know, I read the it is a mod track, of course, and I read the mod author's notes, and he goes, well, you know, I didn't have time to put the buildings in, and I'm like, who cares? This thing's amazing. The foliage, the track is nice. Nice slide. You know, and it's not the fastest track, obviously. I mean, I can barely get in the 4th gear on the front straight there. Ooh, this might be a place. I don't want to push that too hard. I think maybe I could have thrown one down the inside, but it looked dangerous. You know, it's not a fast track, but there's like a billion turns. And that's why it's not fast, because you're constantly turning. And the thing is like every turn is different. You know? This one's more of a high-speed corner. The next one's a pretty brutal, I think it's an increasing radius corner, although I'm not 100% sure of that. And then this one, you know, is it's kind of a medium speed here. You got to hit the apex better than I just did. And then after all that nonsense, you come through this really tricky section where you got to slow down, way down, to get through here safely. And then you got this uphill. Now this uphill right here has ruined more races for me on this track, come on guy, than any other part of this course. Certain cars, when you're trying to push the gas coming up over that hill, you will lose the back end in a second. You don't believe me? Go download this track, get in the Evora GX, and give it more than probably 25% throttle going up that hill and see what happens. Alright, we're going to go for it here. We're not going to be able to get by him anywhere else on this track, I don't feel. That was pretty clean. That was pretty clean. Alright, up in the 5th. Super happy with that so far. Obviously shooting for a podium here. Like I said, the guy who won the last race at Ibizu, he's in 1st. So we don't want to give him 1st without getting some decent points ourselves. So right now we're in a good spot. I feel like we just need to race smartly, conservatively. You know, the AI is not going to make a mistake, at least not as glaring of a mistake as a human driver would. So you can't really rely on the AI making a mistake for a pass. You just have to be better than they are. And I think there's a few sections on this track, namely the first couple, 2-3 turns, where I am better. So I just wait for my opportunity to strike. And that's the same thing I would do against a person. You know, I'm not going to try to force an obviously dangerous move in most cases. Now, last lap, come on. Last lap, you better be driving defensive. Because you are going to get a dive bomb every time if you leave the inside open on the last lap. From most guys. From most guys. I mean, you know, I saw it in Daytona, 24 hour, 2 Cadillacs. One Cadillac says to the other Cadillac, hey, I'd like to go inside you here, and just spins the guy out. I mean, it was heart-wrenching to see. And, you know, it was in the last, what was it, last 10 minutes or something? I can't really recall, but basically lost the race for one guy, and then the guy that took the guy out, he won. You know, it's not fair. They didn't give him a penalty or anything, which I thought maybe there should have been. I think the announcers were all expecting one. But when that guy behind you is close enough to try to shoot one down the inside, you can best be sure on that last lap, 95 times out of 100, that's what's coming. So, drive defensive, last lap. Hit your apexes last lap too. You give guy, like I said, you give guy the room to come inside you. That's what he was going to do. And that little bobble there cost me that position this lap. I'm pretty sure I would have got by this guy there without that bobble. AI is definitely better than me on that corner. Definitely. They're braking way later than I am. But you know, it's all about comfort level. I feel like when I come over the top of the crest, I need to start braking. And I've come to realize it's a little early, but that's what I'm comfortable doing. So I'm going to keep doing it. you know, during the race is not the time to take wildly different lines usually. Alright, up into fourth. Good points for fourth. I'm real happy with that. Maybe we can get in sneak into third. I think we have a shot. And this corner, I know I'm terrible at. I understand what the corner is. It's a very sharp right-hander. You got the elevation change. And it's right after that uphill. But I am terrible at it. And yeah, I did not do myself any favors there. Coming onto the front straight, that was also very bad. So right now, fourth place, I'm going to be happy with that, meaning I'm going to continue to race hard, but I'm not going to, you know, if that guy was closer, I might try to be a little bit more risky, push the car a little harder. But since he is pretty good distance ahead, wow, that was fun. And also you can see my tires are going off. Really pushing them hard here. Really slipping, sliding around some of these corners. And I've really lost a lot of grip. I didn't really realize it, but this lap, you know, there's no weight on the tires. So I've got no fuel, as you can see, left. So I got less weight on the tires. There's less grip. And that can really throw you off at the end of the race if you're not careful. So I'm basically no longer trying to catch third. I'm just trying to stay ahead of fifth. And I'm going to be happy with the points I'm going to get for this race. Overall, great race on a great track. If I can hold one more slide. And I did it. So, starting from 16th, able to come back to 4th. Definitely excited about that race. Looking forward to the next one. So, let's go ahead. I'm going to save that replay. And let's look at the standings. Okay, so still in first, even after that fourth place finish, by 4 points. Olavi has gained 20 points in the last 2 races, so definitely want to be trying to out-qualify him or get up into those top couple positions where we can make a run on him around Modena next time out. So hope you guys will join me there for another thrilling round of the Amateur Driving Bad League Championship.